So in arithmetic progression, we have a particular sequence that is being followed. So we have different terms. Let us say we are talking about, we also call it as AP, that is arithmetic progression. We have set of numbers or sequence. So if I say that I have a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all these are forming a sequence of numbers, right? These are natural numbers. So if you add 1 in every number, you'll get the next number. That is 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, 5 plus 1 is 6, and so on. So this is basically some series. This is series of numbers. Now arithmetic progression also such series or such progression which has each and every term is defined in a particular way, right? And that is, let us say if we talk about the first term, and the first term is A. So the second term is we can add any number, and that number can be negative or positive. So the second term will be A plus T. Third term will add constant number to every term. So basically, if we are adding D to the first, then we'll add D to the second also. So A plus 2D. Then we'll again add D. A plus 3D. Again we'll add D. A plus 4D, and so on. So such series that is there, it is called an arithmetic progression. This is AP.
Okay.
So if you try to see here, what we are getting is we are have terms. First term, second term, third term, fourth term, right? So we'll have all these terms in an arithmetic progression. So from here, if we can say the first term of the progression is A, second term is A plus T,
Yes.
third term is A plus 2D, and so on. Fourth term is A plus 3D. And there can be any number of terms, or you can just stop it at fifth term or sixth term or seventh term. It will depend upon the question. But from here, one thing is very clear. If you will find out A2 minus A1, so this is A2, this is A1. So we have A2 minus A1, right? So this will be A. This is giving us T. Again, A3 minus A2. So we are taking difference of consecutive terms. A2 minus A1, A3 minus A2. So we are not doing A2 minus A3, right? We are having the same sequence, A2 minus A1, A3 minus A2, A4 minus A3. So again, this will be A plus 2D minus, what is A2? A plus T. This is again D. A4 minus A3. So that is A plus 3D minus A plus 2D. That is equal to again D. So the consecutive difference of the terms is coming out to be constant, that is this T. So what we can say is this T is known as the common difference. This T is known as the common difference. So if you take the difference of any two consecutive terms, and in that sequence, that is not A1 minus A2, A2 minus A1, A3 minus A2, A4 minus A3. So this difference will be constant. It will be throughout, it will be same in an arithmetic progression. So this D is known as the common difference. That is what we have to remember here. This is known as the common difference. Now, in this particular thing till now have you, if let us take one more example to understand it in a better way. Let's say we have another AP. So if I say, so see, you have to remember that D can be negative, it can be positive, or it can be zero as well. It can be any one of these. So it is not like we are adding, so we are just increasing the numbers. No, we can have positive addition, we can have negative addition as well. So if I say that I have this, that is a first term is half, second term is 1, 3 by 2, then we have 2, and so on. This is also an AP because we are adding a constant term to every term. Half, you add half, you will get 1. Or if you want to find out, here this is A1, this is A2, this is A3, this is A4. So if you have to find out that this is an AP or not, so this is the procedure by which you will find it out. That is, find out A2 minus A1. It is coming out to be half. Find out A3 minus A2. It is also half. Find out A4 minus A3. It is also half. And it will go on and on like this. Since this difference is constant, so here the common difference is equal to half. And if this is difference is same in all of them, then that progression or that series of the terms will be in the AP, or we say arithmetic progression, right? So now, if you have any doubt till here, so please let me know about it. Any doubt
No.
till this point?
No.
So we will be discussing the nth term of an AP. So nth term is nothing but the first term, second term, third term. So if you want to discuss in general, if we want to find out what will be the nth term, so how we are going to find it out. So here we have already seen that this is the first term is A, second term is A plus T, third term is A plus 2D, fourth is A plus 3D, and so on. So tell me that what is going to be the nth term in the sequence. So now we can have the nth term, so we can write an, that is the nth term, a plus n minus 1 into d. So now with this, if let us say we have a series or the AP, which is written down as 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. So find 13th term of AP. Try to find out the 13th term of the AP. So we'll use this formula. So we just want to find out A13. So A is the first term here, which is 1 plus n minus 1, that is 12, and D is absolutely 2. So this will be equal to 24 plus 1, 25. So that is the 13th term. So similarly, we can have, or we can find out many different terms. Even if we have to find out the common difference, we can easily find out the common difference, and we can easily find out the nth term of any arithmetic progression. But what if we have to find out the sum in the case sum of AP? That is, if we have any arithmetic progression, let us say we have an arithmetic progression which is A1, A2, A1, A2, A3 till the nth term. So by sum, we mean we have to find out sum of A1 plus A2 plus A3 till AN. So how we can find out the sum of this AP, or how we can add up? So we need to have a formula for this. We'll derive a formula. So try to think how we can actually find out, because we know that common difference is D. It is given to us. Common difference is D for this AP. Now how we can find out the sum of this AP? So what we can do here is, let me just give a small hint. If let us say this, we are starting with A1 as A. So we have first term. first term is, let us say, a. Now we know the last term or nth term. We know this is the nth term. This is an equals a plus n minus 1 into d. So let us try to add a1 an. This is 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Now similarly, we have a2 equals a plus d and an minus 1. So we are taking first term and the last term, then second term and second last term. So this will be a plus n minus 2d. Again we'll add a2 plus an minus 1. So if you try to see again, this will be 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Similarly, you will again get a3 plus a n minus 2 will be again same as 2a plus n minus 1d, and this will go on and on like this. And do remember this property of the AP, that if you take the sum of the term that is first from the beginning and the first from the last, or you can say if you take the sum of the terms rth term from the beginning and rth term from the last, which is same as if you take second term from beginning and second term from last, third term from beginning, third term from last. So if you add them correspondingly, their sum will always be same. So we'll try to make use of this to find out the sum of the AP. So now try it out. So whatever we had written, so we can write down Sn again. So we know what is Sn, it is sum of the terms. So here we can write down that this is nothing but we have this a plus second term is a plus t plus the third term a plus 2d and so on. We'll here write down the second last term and the last term. So second last term is a plus n minus 2 into d plus a plus n minus 1 into d. Now what we can do is we can easily try to correlate this with what we have studied as, and we can write out it in the reverse order. That is, we can write down the first term as last term here, because we are not changing the terms, we are just changing the sequence of writing them. So a plus n minus 1 into d, right, plus a plus n minus 2 into d plus and so on, plus here the second term plus a. So we have just written down everything in the reverse order. So we have written down this in reverse order. Now if we try to add them, that is, if we try to add both of these equations, try to add terms correspondingly in the manner that we have now seen, that we can make use of the things that we have studied just now. So we can add them. This becomes twice of Sn. So just try it out and add these terms correspondingly and then see if you are getting something. So if you add this term, the a and this, so every term will be a plus 2a plus n minus 1. So if you add this and this, it will be 2a plus n minus 1d. If you add this and this, it will be 2a plus n minus 1 into 3, because we have seen in this in the last slide. So we can have, these are the n terms. So it will be n times 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So clearly Sn equals n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. And we can write down this in two manners. First of all is this, and also we can say this is n by 2, and if you write down it like this, a plus a n minus 1 into d. So this is the nth term or basically for us, we can say this is the last term. So we can also write this Sn as n by 2 a plus the last term. So we can write down the formula in any one of these two ways, because sometimes we know the last term, so we can easily find out by simply putting up the last term and the first term, because we will know what is the number of terms. So here n is the number of terms, a is the first term, and l is the last term. And also you can definitely use this formula. So it will depend upon the questions which formula will have the easier calculations. So we can use any one of them at that point of time. Find the sum of the series 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 till 81. We have been given the last term, and this is clearly an AP. So ये AP है, so we can use the formula to try to find out the unknowns in any one of the given formula you can use. See, you can use any one of the formulas, and ultimately, but you have to find out the number of terms first, right? That you would have already done. That is that inner term is equal to first term plus n minus 1. The common difference is clearly 2. So from this we are getting n equals 41. So you can use better, but if you can use this formula. So 41 by 2 into first term plus last term. This is 82. So again, this is 41 square. That is 1681. All right. So this is how we can do directly. We can substitute in the formula and find out the answer for such questions. So TR is our term. So this is M, this is N. So Tn, nth term is equal to 1 by M. So M into N, right? So for example, that M equals 1, N equals 3. So 3 into 2, 6. So you have to find out the sixth term, right? So this means that. So what is the value out of all these options? So if we will write down what is actually given, so we'll see. So here Tm equals 1 by n. So we can write down this Tm is also a plus m minus 1 into d, which is equal to 1 by n. Similarly, Tn, nth term, plus a plus n minus 1 into d equals 1 by m. So this information we are having. With this information, we have to find out Tmn, right? So just try to find out with this information. You can subtract. So this is one equation. This is the second one, first and second. So when you subtract a and a will get cancelled out. And okay, let us write down this m minus 1 into d minus n minus 1 into d equals 1 by n minus 1 by m, right? So once you write down this, you have m into d minus t minus n into d plus t. This equals, you can take the LCM here.
Nm upon
Yes,
n minus
m minus n upon
n.
mn. So this and this is getting cancelled out, and this d is there. We can take common. So it will be d into m minus n. That will be equal to m minus n
M minus n
divided
will
by,
get cancelled out.
yes. And we have to remember that this will get cancelled out. There is a reason that these are two different terms. So m is not equal to n, right? So that is why we are cancelling out these terms. So now d equals 1 by mn. This is what we have got, the value of t. Now we can substitute in any one of the equations. Let us say we substitute in 1. So if we substitute, let us say this is 3. You can say from 1 and 3, we can write down a plus m minus 1 into d, that is 1 by mn equals 1 by n. So we can open up this bracket. So this is a plus m by mn minus 1 by mn. So m by mn, mn and mn will get cancelled out. 1 by n is there. Here also there is 1 by n. So this and this will get cancelled out. So a equals 1 by mn. So now we can say that we have the value of a equals t equals 1 by mn. Now what we have to find out is tmn. So we know the formula for tmn, that is the first term plus mn minus 1 into d, right? And a and d are same, so I can say this is equal to a plus m n d minus d. Since a and d are same, a and d will get cancelled out, and the value of d is 1 by mn. So this equals m n into 1 by mn, that is equal to 1. So we should have option D as the correct answer. So here we have the question, find the maximum value of the sum of the AP 50, 48, 46, 44. So what can be the maximum value of this arithmetic progression, of sum of this arithmetic progression? So clearly we can stop it as 2 or 0. So if we stop it at 2, otherwise the terms will be negative. So the last term is 2 equals the first term plus n minus 1. The common difference is minus 2. 48 minus 50, 46 minus 48, it is minus 2. You can divide now by 1. So 1 divided by 2, 25. Here it is minus 1. So minus n plus 1, right? So n equals 25. Now if we try to calculate Sn, so n by 2
A plus
into
A plus A.
first plus last term, that is 52, first plus last, right?
50 is the first, right?
Yeah, 50 is the first and 2 is the
Yeah, yeah.
last.
Yeah.
So that is 26, right? So now we can easily tell about the product
I took the
25.
last one as 0.
Okay, fine. So if you take the last term as 0, the number of terms will change, right?
Yeah.
So the answer is 650. So if you take 0, the number of terms will change because one more term will increase.
One
So
more
n will
term.
be 26 in that case. But here the sum will be same because adding 0 does not change the sum. So sum will still be 650. So this is how we go about all these kind of questions.